Have you ever been exhausted all day? Then the moment you lie down, your mind suddenly becomes wide awake. As if your bed is a stage and your thoughts are the audience that refuses to leave. Have you ever wondered why some people sleep deeply with ordinary lives, while others collect every sleep tip in the world and still feel trapped in restless nights? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight I want to share a story about the right way to sleep, and what people call the Buddha's secret of peaceful rest. But do not expect a magical shortcut. The secret is not a hidden herb or a rare sound. The secret is a shift in how you relate to your own mind. Because for many people, the biggest reason they cannot sleep is not noise, not the mattress, not even stress itself. It is the way they fight stress when the lights go out. This story is about a man named Samir. He was in his 30s, smart, responsible, and constantly tired. He did not look like someone falling apart. He looked like someone succeeding. That was the problem. His whole identity was built on appearing fine. He could push through meetings, deadlines, and social events. He could smile while his chest tightened. He could nod while his mind spun. Then at night, when there was no audience to impress, his nervous system finally told the truth. It could not keep pretending. Samir's insomnia did not start as a crisis. It started as a few nights of light sleep. He blamed work. Then it became a week. Then a month. Then the kind of pattern that makes you afraid of bedtime. And fear of bedtime is like watering the very plant you want to uproot. Because fear teaches the body that the bed is not safe. At first Samir tried to fix it like he fixed everything else. He tried harder. He controlled more. He installed sleep apps. He tracked his minutes. He tracked his heart rate. He bought supplements. He changed pillows. He watched videos about sleep routines. He made a schedule so strict it felt like a contract with the night. And yet, the more he tried, the worse it got. Because the mind is not impressed by force. The mind becomes more restless when you demand it behave. It is like trying to smooth water with your palm while your arm is shaking. The water cannot become calm while you are creating motion. One night Samir lay in bed staring at the ceiling, counting the minutes like each minute was a debt. He looked at the clock, then looked again, then again. The numbers felt like judgment. He felt anger rise, then shame, then panic. He heard the voice in his head saying, "If you do not sleep, tomorrow will be ruined." That voice was not trying to be cruel. It was trying to protect him with a strategy that never worked. Threaten the body into rest. The body does not rest under threat. The body braces. That night Samir gave up and went into the living room. He sat on the floor with his back against the couch and stared at the dark window. He whispered, "What is wrong with me?" The next morning, he met his older neighbor, Mr. Iyer, in the elevator. Mr. Iyer was in his 70s and had the calm posture of someone who had survived enough storms to stop shouting at the sky. Samir had always liked him but never spoke much beyond greetings. Mr. Iyer looked at Samir's eyes and said, "You did not sleep." Samir tried to laugh. He said, "Is it that obvious?" Mr. Iyer nodded. "Your face is loud." Samir felt embarrassed. Then, because he was too tired to keep the mask, he told Mr. Iyer the truth. He said he could not sleep. He said he had tried everything. He said he felt like his own mind was sabotaging him. Mr. Iyer listened quietly. Then he said something that sounded almost disrespectful in its simplicity. "You are sleeping the wrong way." Samir frowned. He said, "There is a wrong way to sleep." Mr. Iyer smiled gently. "Many wrong ways. The most common wrong way is fighting. Fighting thoughts, fighting feelings, fighting the fact that you are awake. You are trying to win sleep. You cannot win sleep. Sleep arrives when you stop making war." Samir felt irritation. "So what am I supposed to do?" "Just accept being awake." Mr. Iyer said, "Accepting is not surrendering your life. Accepting is removing the extra suffering. There is the pain of being tired. Then there is the suffering of hating yourself for being tired. You are adding the second one every night. Samir did not know what to say. The sentence felt true. He had been insulting himself nightly. He had been turning insomnia into a personal failure. Mr. Iyer said, "Come by my place after work. I will tell you a story about the Buddha and sleep." Samir was not religious, but he was desperate enough to be humble. That evening he visited. Mr. Iyer's apartment was simple. No clutter, warm light, a faint smell of tea. On the wall was a small print with a short quote about the mind. Samir did not read it yet. He just felt something in the room that his own apartment did not have. Permission to exhale. Mr. Iyer poured tea and began the story. He said there was a young monk who complained to the Buddha that he could not sleep. The monk said his mind was full of thoughts, full of worries, full of fear that he would fail at practice. He asked for a secret method. The Buddha asked him, "When you lie down, what do you do with your mind?" The monk said, "I try to stop it." The Buddha replied, "Then you are grabbing the snake." Samir blinked. "Grabbing the snake?" Mr. Iyer said. The Buddha explained that thoughts are not a snake by themselves. They become a snake when you grab them and wrestle them. If you leave the snake alone, it passes. If you grab it, it bites. The monk's mistake was trying to control the mind with force. The Buddha told him to practice a different relationship. Not force, awareness. Samir leaned forward. He asked, "So what did the Buddha tell him to do?" Mr. Iyer said, "The Buddha told him to lie down and treat wakefulness as practice, not as failure. He told him to rest the body and watch the mind like someone watching a river. Thoughts come, thoughts go. You do not jump into the river to chase each leaf. You stay on the bank." And he told him to stop checking for results, because checking for results is another form of grasping. Samir felt skeptical. He said, "That sounds like meditation, not sleep." Mr. Iyer smiled. "Exactly. Sleep begins when you stop making it different from life. You are learning the same lesson you need during the day. Do not cling. Do not fight. Be present. Sleep is not separate. It is a mirror." Mr. Iyer then asked Samir a strange question. "When you cannot sleep, what are you afraid will happen?" Samir answered immediately, "I will be useless tomorrow." Mr. Iyer nodded. "So you are not only trying to sleep, you are trying to control your identity. You want to guarantee you will be strong tomorrow. So you threaten yourself tonight. That is the wrong way." Samir felt heat in his face. He did not like being seen that clearly. But he also felt relief, because if insomnia had a cause, maybe it could have an end. Mr. Iyer offered Samir a practice. He called it the right way to sleep. Not because it was perfect, but because it stopped feeding the wrong cycle. He said, "Tonight do 5 things. First, remove the judge. That means do not look at the clock after you lie down. Turn it away. The clock is not information at night. It is fuel for panic. Second, stop negotiating. Do not bargain with sleep. Do not say, 'If I fall asleep in 10 minutes, I will be okay.' Bargaining is clinging. Third, replace force with softness. When thoughts come, do not push them away. Label them gently as thinking, and return to the feeling of breath. Fourth, treat wakefulness as rest. Even if you are awake, you can rest your body. You can relax the jaw, relax the shoulders, relax the belly. You can let the mantras hold you. Rest is not failure." Fifth, end the war with yourself. Speak to yourself kindly. Instead of saying, "What is wrong with me?" say, "This is hard, and I am here." Samir nodded. It sounded too simple. He also suspected it would be the hardest thing he had tried, because it required him to stop controlling. That night he tried. He prepared his room. He turned the clock away. He placed his phone across the room. He lay down and felt immediate thoughts rise. Tomorrow meeting. That email. That fear. He labeled them thinking. He returned to breath. At first it felt like nothing happened. He was still awake. Then a deeper layer appeared. The mind started saying, "This is not working. You are wasting time. You will be a mess tomorrow. He noticed the voice and realized it was not him. It was a habit. It was the habit of threat, the habit of shame. He labeled it judging. Then he did something new. He placed a hand on his chest and whispered, "This is hard. I am here." He felt tears rise unexpectedly. Not because of the thoughts, because of the kindness. He realized nobody spoke to him like that. Not even himself. He had been driving his nervous system with a whip for years. He allowed the tears. He breathed. He did not demand that the emotions stop. And that was the Buddha secret. Not a technique. A relationship. When you stop fighting what arises, the body stops bracing. When the body stops bracing, sleep can arrive. Samir fell asleep without noticing the moment. He woke up around 3 a.m. and felt panic rise. The old pattern. He almost reached for the phone. Then he remembered the practice. He stayed still. He breathed. He whispered, thinking. He softened his jaw. He did not demand sleep. He allowed rest. He slept again. In the morning, he was not perfectly refreshed, but he felt something bigger than refreshment. He felt less afraid, and fear was the real thief. Over the next 2 weeks, Samir continued practicing. Some nights were good. Some nights were still rough. But the war ended. And when the war ended, the nights became less traumatic, even when sleep was imperfect. He also began to notice how the day creates the night. He realized he was living without silence. Every gap was filled with content. Every quiet moment was filled with scrolling. His mind never practiced settling. Then he expected it to settle at night. That was unreasonable. So he introduced small silences in the day. 1 minute of breathing before opening email. A short walk without headphone. 3 slow breaths before meals. He treated those as training sessions for the nervous system. He was teaching his body that silence is not danger. He also began practicing honesty. He stopped pretending he was fine when he was stressed. He told a friend he was struggling. He told his manager he needed clearer priorities. He set small boundaries. Each honest act removed another stone from the backpack his mind used to carry into bed. This is karma in a practical sense. When you stop planting stress causes all day, you stop harvesting stress at night. Samir visited Mr. Iyer again and told him it was helping. Mr. Iyer nodded and said, "Now you see why the Buddha taught the middle path. Too much effort becomes agitation. Too little effort becomes dullness. The right way is steady. You create conditions. Then you let go." Samir asked, "What if I still have nights where I cannot sleep?" Mr. Iyer said, "Then you practice kindness. A bad night does not mean you failed. It means you are human. If you treat each bad night as proof you are broken, you feed the cycle. If you treat it as practice, you loosen the cycle. Returning is the path." That sentence stayed with Samir. Returning is the path. Now, let me bring this to you. If you want the right way to sleep, start by removing the fight. Do not chase perfect sleep. Chase a kinder relationship with your mind. Do not punish yourself for wakefulness. Rest your body anyway. Do not demand silence. Practice not grabbing the noise. Do not treat the clock like a judge. Turn it away. And do not forget compassion. Compassion is not a soft luxury. Compassion is the force that allows the nervous system to settle. If you want to make this even simpler, use 1 sentence tonight. Instead of saying, "I must sleep," say, "I can rest in this breath." Then return. Again and again. That is the secret. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you have been fighting sleep, share what your nights feel like in the comments. And if you have found one small practice that helped you soften instead of struggle, share that too. Someone listening may realize they are not failing at sleep. They are just fighting the night. Closing words: may you stop making war with your own mind. May you learn the silence beneath the struggle. May your rest become a practice of wisdom. Please subscribe and stay with the channel, because the next story might be the one that helps you return to peace without forcing it. Source file title line 18. Who is the observer inside your mind? A Buddhist perspective. Batch article number 18. Generated time 20 trillion, 260 billion, 303 million, 132,500. New title. Who is the observer inside your mind? And why does seeing it change everything? Have you ever noticed you can watch your thoughts, almost like you are standing behind them? Have you ever wondered who is doing the watching when your mind is loud? And whether that watcher is the real you? Welcome back to the channel. This next story is about the observer inside your mind. From a Buddhist perspective that is practical and deeply relieving. It is not about turning yourself into a mystery. It is about ending a very old confusion that creates suffering. The person in this story is named Claire. She was a high achiever and a quiet overthinker. Her mind never stopped analyzing. She analyzed conversation. She analyzed choices. She analyzed herself. One day she read a sentence that startled her because it sounded obvious and impossible at the same time. You are not your thoughts. Claire wanted to believe it, but she did not know how. Because if she was not her thoughts, then who was she? That question followed her for weeks until she attended a small meditation class. The teacher asked everyone to close their eyes and listen to the breath. Claire tried. Thoughts kept coming. Then the teacher said, "Notice that you can see the thought. If you can see it, you are not identical to it." Claire felt a small shock. She realized something inside her was stable enough to notice the chaos. After class, she asked the teacher, "So who is that something?" The teacher smiled and told her a story. A student asked a master, "Where is the mind?" The master said, "Show me your mind." The student looked for it and could not find a solid thing. The master said, "Then do not build a prison for something you cannot even hold." Claire did not fully understand, but she felt a relief. If the mind is not a solid thing, maybe she did not have to obey every thought as if it were law. She practiced daily. Not long, just enough to notice the observer. Each time a harsh thought appeared, she watched it. Each time a fear story appeared, she watched it. Each time a memory appeared, she watched it. Slowly she realized the observer was not a separate person living inside her skull. The observer was awareness itself. Simple knowing. Then another insight arrived. Even the observer can become an identity. Some people cling to being the watcher and become cold. The teacher warned her about that. Buddhism does not teach you to hide in observation. Buddhism teaches you to use observation to cultivate wisdom and compassion. Claire began applying it in life. When she felt triggered, she paused and noticed. When she wanted to lash out, she noticed. That pause became freedom. In that pause, she could choose a kinder response. She could choose truth without cruelty. She could choose boundaries without hatred. That is karma changing, not through magic. Through one moment of awareness repeated until it becomes a habit. So who is the observer? It is the part of you that knows experience. It is not a separate soul you can point to like an object. It is awareness itself. And when you recognize it, you stop drowning in thought. You start relating to thought like weather. Weather can be intense, but you are not the storm. You are the sky. Thank you for staying with me. If you have ever felt the observer appear for even 1 second, share what it felt like. And if you feel trapped inside thought, remember this. The fact that you know you are trapped is already the observer waking up. Closing words. May you learn to watch without fear. May you act with wisdom from the space of awareness. Subscribe and stay with the channel, because the next story goes even deeper into how silence and sound can train the mind toward peace. Source file title line 19 Chinese and music deep meditation peaceful mind body spirit harmony. Batch article number 19. Generated time 20 trillion, 260 billion, 303 million, 133,000. New title. Can Zen music create peaceful harmony? Or is the real harmony built inside you? Have you ever played meditation music and felt calm for a moment? Then the calm vanished the second life challenged you. Have you ever wondered whether peaceful music is healing you, or simply giving you a temporary escape? Welcome back to the channel. This story is about Zen music, deep meditation, and the search for harmony of mind and body. And I want to tell it in a way that keeps it honest. Music can soothe. Sound can regulate the nervous system. But the deepest harmony is not the track. The deepest harmony is what the track trains your attention to do. The person in this story is named Marco. He found Zen music during a stressful season when his mind felt like it was chewing on itself. The first night he played it, his shoulders dropped. He felt relief. He called it healing. He became dependent fast. Every night he needed the music like a blanket. Then one night the power went out. No music, no track, no sound machine. Only darkness and his mind. Marco panicked. He realized he had not learned peace. He had learned dependence. The next day he spoke to a friend who practiced meditation. The friend said, "Use music like a bridge, not like a crutch. Let it guide you into awareness. Then practice awareness with or without it." So Marco tried. He listened to the music, but instead of drifting away, he stayed present. He felt the breath. He noticed thoughts. He returned to sound without chasing it. He practiced letting the music be the background while awareness became the foreground. Over weeks, something changed. The music still felt beautiful, but it no longer controlled him. The harmony started showing up in ordinary moments too. Washing dishes, walking, waiting in line. He realized true harmony is not a mood. It is a trained relationship with experience. That is the Zen lesson. External conditions can support you, but liberation is internal. Karma shifts when you stop escaping and start practicing. Thank you for staying with me. If meditation music has helped you, share how you use it. Do you use it to escape or to train attention? Your answer might help someone else find a wiser way. Closing words may sound guide you back to silence. May harmony become your habit. Subscribe and stay with the channel, because the last story in this batch asks a big question about love and what different teachings emphasize. Source file title line 20J. Yes US versus BUDDH Hill of versus non-minus attachment. Natch article number 20. Generated time 20 trillion, 260 billion, 303,133,500. This is the last article in this batch. New title. Love or non-attachment. Are they opposites, or two ways to heal the same human heart? Have you ever felt confused when people compare Jesus and the Buddha, as if you must choose one and reject the other? Have you ever wondered whether love and non-attachment are actually enemies, or whether they can meet in the same place called compassion? Welcome back to the channel. This final story in the batch is not here to start arguments. It is here to reduce suffering. Because arguments about identity often hide a deeper hunger. The hunger to be safe. The hunger to be good. The hunger to love without being destroyed by fear. The story follows a woman named Sophia. She grew up around Christian language about love. She also discovered Buddhist language about non-attachment. At first, she thought they contradicted each other. Love sounded like holding close. Non-attachment sounded like letting go. She felt torn. Then her mother became ill. Sophia faced a reality she could not debate. Impermanence. She loved her mother deeply, and that love hurt because she feared loss. She prayed. She also meditated. She cried. She also watched her mind. One day a hospice nurse said something that changed Sophia. Love is not the same as clinging. That sentence became her bridge. Sophia realized that when love becomes clinging, it demands reality obey fear. It says, do not change, do not leave, do not die. But life changes. People leave. Bodies end. Clinging turns love into suffering because it refuses the truth of impermanence. She also realized that non-attachment is not coldness. True non-attachment is love without ownership. It is care without chains. It is presence without manipulation. In that sense, Non-attachment protects love from becoming selfish fear. Sophia began practicing a different kind of love. She held her other's hand and stayed present. She spoke gently. She listened. She helped. She also accepted that she could not control the outcome. Acceptance did not reduce love. It reduced panic. The love became clearer. In her own heart, Sophia discovered something simple. The highest love is not the love that grips. The highest love is the love that serves and releases. That is compassion. So when people ask, love versus non-attachment, Sophia answers, love and non-attachment are not enemies. Non-attachment is how love stays clean. Thank you for spending this time with me through this batch. If you have ever loved someone and also feared losing them, share what you learned. And if you have found a way to love with less clinging, share that too. Closing words: may your love be deepened, your heart be free. May you care without shame. Please subscribe, like, and comment to support the channel.